Welcome to the SVG TV's news for Tuesday, January 17th. I'm Khalil Cato with the details. Minister responsible for the public service, Frederick Stevenson, has appealed to all public servants throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ensure that the efforts they put in will see the completion and advancement of the government's programs and policies in 2023 and beyond. Minister Stevenson was at the time making his contribution to the 2023 budget debate in Parliament last week.
Madam Speaker, the year 2022 has been a very challenging year for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, like many other nations around the world. We had the COVID pandemic. We had the eruptions of La Soufrière. We had Hurricane Elsa. But in spite of it all, Madam Speaker, the challenges, God has been good to us. Yes. And I want to say that under the esteem, confidence, and of our Honorable Prime Minister and his cabinet, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been a better place despite all the challenges.
Further outlining the plans for his ministry in 2023, Minister Stevenson said that they will continue to work with the Legal Affairs Department to craft certain regulations for the advancement of the public sector.
Ensure that we have a standardized nomenclature and job descriptions for all public servants in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Madam Speaker, we have tried to get some of those job descriptions prepared, and we have sent out after qualified persons to do these job descriptions for us, but we didn't get. But hopefully in the new year, CARICAD, which is the Caribbean Center for Development Administration, transforming public service for the people of the Caribbean, has volunteered to assist the Ministry of the Public Service in carrying out this mandate for next year. Madam Speaker, these updated job descriptions will provide clear duties and responsibilities for officers, as well as to aid in the proper assessment during the performance evaluation process.
Public servants in SVG are expected to benefit from a 7% salary increase over the next 3 years starting this year. On the API's Man in SVG program on Monday, Finance Minister Camilo Gonzalez said the salary increase, which was negotiated with the various trade unions in light of expected growth in the economy, will cost the government in excess of 25 million EC dollars. A massive transformation will be seen in the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism Authority this year. This comes from Minister of Tourism Carlos James as he outlined the plans for his ministry this year during his contribution to the budget debate.
We will appoint a Director of Tourism within the ministry to strengthen policy and legislative mechanisms required to support the transformation of the growing tourism sector. Further, we will restructure our Communications and Tourism Education and Information Department to provide greater engagement with the public and to broaden tourism awareness on the island. And I believe, Madam Speaker, it's important because there's a difference in the Grenadines. When you visit the islands, they understand the importance of why tourism needs to work and why it is everyone's business. That's how they survive. On mainland, there are the things that you can do, whether it's agriculture, fisheries, or different sectors you can rely on for an income. But very often, we don't see the real and true value and potential of our tourism product. So we have to go out there in all of the communities across mainland, and in those communities where we are going to see an uptick in the construction of hotels and resorts, to say, look, listen, this is an important and integral part of our economy, and we have to make tourism work. It is everyone's business.
Minister James said the Tourism Authority will continue to work along with various stakeholders to advance the initiatives of the ministry and to continue to market and promote Destination SVG, all aimed at increasing visitor arrivals.
to encourage stakeholders. Let us make the investment in tourism to make tourism work even better. We have put measures in place for concessions for persons who want to expand and to go into new business as it relates to marine tours, purchasing of vessels. We have put measures in place for persons who want to expand and go into new business in terms of land tours, using tour buses and taxis. And we're working with one particular dealership here to see how we can facilitate even a reduction in the cost of brand new vehicles for the tourism industry in terms of having more fleet, a broader fleet available for tours, not just for cruise tourism, but tourism generally across the board, whether by air or by sea. Persons who are coming by air or by sea.
James describes Budget 2023 as a level-up budget that seeks to build back a robust economy and solidify the gains of the ULP administration.
To social protection, education, healthcare, tourism, agriculture, and infrastructure, including roads. It was indeed refreshing to hear the words of the Minister of Finance, noting that we greet 2023 with fresh hope. Madam Speaker, it took me back to Alexander Pope's 1733 piece on an essay on man, where he said, hope springs eternal in the human breast. Also, it is true, Madam Speaker, as the Minister of Finance quoted, hope without real work is dead. So we must double our efforts to ensure we hit the targets of our economic and social indicators.
And Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Technology, Camilo Gonzalez, says the Sandals Resort in Bookament is right on target to meet the completion of construction in early December this year. On the API's Man in SVG program on Monday, Minister Gonzalez said he visits the site every few weeks and he gets a weekly update from the project manager.
Every week, he sends me this is how many people are employed there, how many locals, how many foreigners. This is where we are on our timeline, on how many rooms have been refurbished, how many rooms have been built, where we are with the swimming pool, where we are with the spa, where we are with the restaurants and all of these things. So I get weekly updates, and they're right on target. They're right on target with where they want to be. I was worried during the bad weather, the rain and everything, but they have already. Just to step back, we had at Bookament Bay about 90 rooms, 90 villas. The Sandals project is going to be over 300 rooms. So they're keeping roughly those 90. They're going to build another 200 rooms in towers. And then they're going to build some of those beautiful things you see in those Sandals ad with the villas over the water, that sort of a thing. And they've already built the block that holds the first 100 rooms. So that block is complete, and they're 4 stories high. And the second block is already halfway done. So they'll have their room blocks done, and then it's all about fit and finish. You know, you do the flooring, the tiling, and the walls and that sort of a thing. But the actual structures will be up by March. Wow. And then thereafter, they have to do the grounds, the swimming pools, you know, those sorts of things. The spa is very close to complete. The spa will be finished in April. It's a huge spa. and then they work on the back of house things, where the washing machine, the laundry, the things that you don't worry about when you're a guest, but the things that are very important to making sure that the stay is pleasurable. So they're right on target.
Minister Gonzalez says the management of Sandals International is hoping to have a soft launch in December for the media, which will include the international travel media, and to have the resort opened to the public in January 2024.
Because that's when those people are freezing in Utah.
The snowbirds start flying out.
Absolutely,
yeah.
and Toronto and all of these places, and they're looking for somewhere warm to go. They're going to start booking rooms at that resort by the middle of the year. So when people call 1-800-SANDALS and they say, look, we're looking for somewhere to go, they're going to say St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So they expect that when they open that resort in January to the public, it's going to be full. It's not going to open gradually and build. They're going to open that resort full. But it will be open and staffed in December. To the international
next
media.
year.
This time
Sandals
next year,
full.
Sandals is open and Sandals is full. And
Full
so
throttle.
I want the taxi drivers to hear me. I want the tour operators to hear me. I want the fisher folk and the farmers to hear me. That the Sandals Resort, which they tell me is going to have 1,500 people a week in that resort, because most people stay about 4 days, and it's going to be full the whole time. So they're going to have about 1,500 people a week in that resort, and they'll be there in January. So if you're thinking about doing tours, get yourself ready. If you're thinking about giving people rides from the airport to the resort, get yourself ready. If you're thinking about supplying lettuce, eggs, or tomatoes, or watermelon, or fish, get yourself ready, because this is a huge new market right here in St. Vincent.
The finance minister says next door to Sandals in Bookament Bay, they will be undertaking tremendous work to beautify the community of Bookament.
Sure that we can invite those 1,500 guests a week across the bridge and into the village, where they can buy local products from local villages. We're going to have a monthly fish fry there that's open not only to Sandals, obviously, but to the general public. The Sandals people in St. Lucia, they get on a bus and they travel an hour to Grocery Lane, for the fish fry there.
Yeah.
All they're going to have to do is walk across a bridge, because we're going to have that Grocery Lane experience, of course, with a Vinci twist, right across the bridge, and that's going to also spur a lot of development. So we're excited about Sandals, but we're excited about tourism generally.
Yeah.
Government has announced that it will be launching a 6-month internship program designed to better equip the nation's youth to participate in the new and dynamic global space. Funded by the Republic of China, Taiwan, at a cost of approximately $500,000 US, with a contribution of 40,000 EC dollars from the government of SVG, the offering of National Support for Internship Training and Employment, or OnSite program, is set to begin in February this year and will recruit 175 participants aged 18 to 34 years old. A news release from the implementing agency, the Economic Planning Division of the Ministry of Finance, says the selected on-site participants will be placed at private sector businesses and firms across a wide range of industries, and they will receive a monthly stipend that is commensurate with their achieved levels of education and skill set, that is, pre-secondary, secondary, post-secondary, and university levels. The release says it is anticipated that on-site will create a more dynamic and competitive labor force in SVG, fill gaps identified by the Labor Demand Survey, decrease unemployment among Vincentian youth, and contribute to the improvement of the socio-economic status of the citizens of SVG. OnSite is scheduled to be officially launched this Thursday, with application forms available for collection from various locations, including online portals. Oversight functions of the OnSite program will be performed by a steering committee, which will be comprised of representatives from key stakeholder ministries and agencies, including the Economic Planning Division, SVG Chamber of Commerce, Invest SVG, the Department of Labor, the Ministry of Education and National Reconciliation, the SVG Community College, and the Ministry of National Mobilization. Stubbs has been voted as the best Nine Mornings community in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the National Nine Mornings Christmas Festival 2022. In second place was Richland Park, third place Career, fourth Coles Hill, and fifth Trumaka. Best Christmas Community 2022 went to Richland Park, second place Career, third place Rose Hall, fourth Trumuka, and fifth Owea. Carlton CP Hall's We Outside Again was awarded the most popular local Christmas song, followed by Lennox Bowman's 9 Nights in second place. Dennis Bowman, the Christmas Nice, and Carlton CP Hall's 9 Morning Strain tied for third place, with Glenroy Homie Delplesh What You Giving in fourth. Uriah Little's Baked Chicken Baked Pork was the winner of the Digicel Bring Your Song and Come competition. In second place was Larissa Collis with We Gonna Make It. McCaffrey Medford, That Is It, and Heckford Woodley Christmas Promise tied for third place, with Sia Carter Bring It Back in fourth, and Brandon Saunders Merry Christmas in fifth. The winners received their awards last Saturday at the prize-giving ceremony held at the Methodist Church Hall. The Barrowley Police Youth Club hosted its first community project for 2023 on Sunday at the old Barrowley Police Station grounds. The project was executed under the theme, The Barrowley Police Youth Club Making a Difference, Touching Lives and Impacting the Community. Speaking at the event, the National Coordinator of Police Youth Clubs, Sergeant of Police Stephen Billy, said that projects like these are to help young men and women understand that they are not alone in society, noting that they are teaching them to share and to be mindful to care for others. According to the officer in charge of the Police Youth Clubs, Assistant Superintendent Junior Simmons, the Police Youth Clubs are the most trending clubs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. ASP Simmons said the youth clubs have been doing an awesome job in nurturing the minds of the nation's most valuable resources, the children, and that when they impact positively on their lives at this stage, these children will grow up to be productive citizens of the country. Brief remarks were also delivered by District Coordinator Sergeant Garth Deschong, and the vote of thanks was done by Deputy Coordinator Shalianne Roberts. The UWI Seismic Research Center, the National Emergency Management Organization, and the UWI Open Campus are collaborating to host a 2-day country conference in March this year, focusing on the 2020-2021 eruption of the La Soufrière volcano. Professor Richard Robertson of the UWI Seismic Research Center says the conference, which will be held on March 29th and 30th, will include oral presentations and field trips and will be held under the theme Explosions, Ash and Lahars.
Is speaking about and providing an opportunity for people who have worked on various aspects of the eruption to present to a local audience what they have discovered. And it really is an attempt to ensure that Vincentians who have to deal with this volcano are really pretty much in the forefront of information that is available. Most often when scientists do research, they would publish their papers in scientific journals, and unless you're a scientist like myself, you would hardly ever see them. So this conference is really providing an opportunity for people who are working on St. Vincent to speak about, and on Soufrière to speak about the eruption. It's going to be focused on the eruption, but it also provides an opportunity for people who are in St. Vincent, who might have some work to share, some material to share, to also present.
Professor Robertson said while there will be scientific presentations, the scientists are aware of the audience that they will be speaking to. Hence, the information will be tailored in such a way that everyone can listen and understand.
Because the intention really from the scientific group and with this conference is really to try to ensure the information that is known about the volcano. Certainly from what we learned about what has happened in the last eruption and what we are learning since, and even before that, to share it with people. So it's open to anyone. We recommend that if you want to attend, that you register beforehand. But if you haven't registered by the day itself, you can come onto the open campus, which is going to be hosted in Kingston. Walk in and you register and you could attend.
In terms of local participation in the upcoming conference, Professor Robertson said they are encouraging attendance and persons sharing their experience of the 2021 eruption of La Soufrière. We
have had, I think, up to 20 abstracts submitted for presentations. A lot of them are from people who are not based in St. Vincent, but we have had some from people in St. Vincent. The kinds of, we're looking for a presentation from anybody that might have had some experiences with the eruption that they would want to share, and probably some investigation that they might have done. So perhaps, how did it affect, for example, how did the water people, the CWSC and people like that, respond to how did it affect their systems, even telecommunications, the the utilities? How did it affect communities? And if so, we're looking for people sharing those kinds of both experiences and findings. There's an opportunity that, and we still have to work on that. We're trying to see if there would be an opportunity during some point in the conference where people could simply share their experiences in addition to any kind of research that they might have done. So we're really encouraging people who may have any kind of research that they might have done on St. Vincent related to the eruption to register and submit a brief outline of what they would like to present and what we call an abstract, and that we would then be able to slot them into the program. But even if you're not someone like that and you come on the day and you had a particular experience of the eruption, we are hoping that there might be a space during the meeting that will allow people to just share those experiences, because I think there's a lot of experiences out there, both of people who either have had to manage aspects of the crisis as well as people who had to live through it. I think it would be useful to capture some of that. And for us as scientists who are studying the eruption, all of that could potentially be sources of data.
The hybrid conference will be held at the UWI Open campus in Kingstown with a local and online audience.